I just want to be the bridge between modern football and how it's evolving every single day. Who are you? What are your qualifications? I don't bother responding because they don't understand. Anyone can be a good football manager because it's a game that when I was younger, it gave me a lot of escape from the real world. I really want to be that symbol where if I get sacked for sticking to my principles, I'm so happy to get sacked. I have no problem with losing by a lot of goals if it means for my future, I go unbeaten for like 2 years.
What's going on, people, and welcome back to Rootz TV, back outside of Rectory Park. They couldn't let us in because it's too much money, but anyway, we're here, grass is green, and I'm joking with my man, Coach Rootz. How you doing, bro?
How you doing, man? All right? Yeah.
How you been, man?
Not too bad, thank you, yeah. I'm excited to be on. Yeah.
Good. It's good to have you, man, because again, like, you've been making a lot of noise in a short space of time, man. Man, you're causing the carnage out here, bro. It's good, but in a good way.
That's my aim. I don't want
to... in a good way, man. It's good, but glad to see you're doing bits, man. And yeah, like, how's things been with you, man?
Yeah, just good. I mean, I've always had the idea of, trying my own ideas. So I was playing a lot of football before, but at the end of the day, there are things that happen that are out of your control, so depending on how many minutes you get, how much game time you get. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, professional football is out of the picture. If I'm playing, let's say, step 4, step 5. So what's the next bit? Can I be in control, which means pursue management, pursue coaching? And yeah, one video at a time, here we are, like 7-8 months later, so yeah.
Mental that. So again, like, your rise has come very short. Like you said, you started in, November, December time?
Yeah.
And then on one page, which no longer exists right now,
yeah,
got up to 180,000 followers. How did that come about in such a short space of time?
So it started off with a video about Pep Guardiola's 5 lanes of football.
Right.
And personally, I didn't think that was groundbreaking or revolutionary because I just thought of that being basic football understanding. If you've played football at a certain level, you'd know, like, okay, 5 lanes, you have this side, bang, 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 there's 5 lanes. Left back, winger, centre midfielders, attacking mid, other centre midfielder, opposite winger. So that's 5 lanes.
Right.
And I just explained that. Very bad quality, low resolution, weird subtitles, loud music, audio, everything was off. I posted it, hit like 4 million views. This was in January. And then I was like, okay, let's try another one. So then I spoke about a 4v3 midfield situation.
Overload.
Yeah, overload.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And then before that, that one also hit like 3-4 million as well. So in the space of 2 weeks, I had 8 million views on my page, and that's when obviously Instagram growth and the algorithm loves you, and then you start posting more, and then it just goes from one to another to another. And before I knew, I was doing match previews of Premier League games, match reviews. As you know, if you have one idea, you see, oh, let me do this, let me do that, let me do that.
You're trying to kind of feed the beast because again, you want to give it more. You want to obviously get the growth up in there.
Exactly. And now I'm seeing other pages try and copy me with the tactics board, but the truth is they'll never be able to do it the way I did it because of how easily I describe the concepts,
You can tell it's very genuine with you as well. Like, you're not forcing it at all. It's like, even speaking to you now, you can tell that you've got the knowledge there. And again, all it is sometimes like a simple idea, like of having a tactics board and explaining things in detail. Because I often find, like, on Instagram, if you're providing a service to someone, because essentially that's what you're doing, you're providing people with knowledge and your experience as well, like, people will gravitate to you quite easily. And there's no... I'm surprised, but not surprised at the same time that you've grown so fast in such a quick amount of time. Because again, you're providing such good quality information to people.
Exactly, and as we discussed before, for me, personal, like, actual understanding and knowledge comes from you being able to grasp a difficult idea and break it down to someone who's 4 years old.
Yep.
And if they are able to understand it, then you've understood the whole concept. Mm-hmm. So even if I'm managing, the teams and coaching the teams I'll be doing from the new season, I'm not going to be using big words because what's the point in that? Why do I need to use big words when I can say, look, if you stand here, then you go there, then you go there. If they understand it, let other people analyse and be like, oh, he's inverting this, he's dropping that. Fine, you
just can break it down in layman's terms.
You can use those words, it's fine, but I really don't think you need to use those words because I personally don't think Pep Guardiola, Arteta, Jurgen Klopp, all these top managers, Hansi Flick at Barca, all Ancelotti, they don't use these big words. They just demonstrate, and because everyone understands football, it's like, okay, I know what my manager wants from me, okay, I'm going to do it. So I just want to be the bridge between modern football and how it's evolving every single day and the rest of the world, really. So I want to be like that gap between here and there.
Do you often feel like coaches overcomplicate things like that? And coaching techniques and coaching information, like it's too much overload for one person to take in, let alone a kid, but even an adult.
Yes, I do think to an extent. Once again, it just depends on you understanding your players. So if you think your players have the capacity to take on X amount of information, then you do it. But personally, with the players I've worked with in the past year, it's like let's just go back to the drawing board. Okay, goalkeeper has the ball. You stand here. You stand there, and then you explain why. And then when you explain why you shouldn't stand there, that's when they make the connections. So it's not about you stand there because I said it to you. No, no, no. It's learning. We're basically in a laboratory together. So it's like I prefer you to stand there because your teammate can be there. Then you guys can rotate because the opposition, blah, blah. Like when you explain it like that, I think people, like, you know, they get a picture painted in their minds. And then when you have your tactics board and you show it, because there are different types of learning.
Yeah, of course.
Visual, audio, physical. So you try and tap into all of that, then you can tap into a whole squad, really.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. And then what's happened with that account since then?
Oh yeah, so I mean this happened 15th of June and I've submitted an appeal and I'm still waiting for a response. Funnily enough, I got one response from Instagram saying we've restored the content because I knew there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So they've restored the content, but the account isn't there, so I don't know what that means.
Wow.
So I might actually go into King's Cross where the Meta office is.
Yeah.
But I don't know who will be there, whether there are actual people working there, because Instagram have one of the worst, customer service. There's no one to talk to.
Yeah.
It's just all AI. I'm pretty sure when I posted that video about Granit... So funnily enough, that video was Granit Xhaka pointing to his teammate to drop into a pocket.
Yeah.
Then he got the ball and he made something happen. And I labelled it Coach Granit Xhaka. And within 10 minutes, it got removed. So UEFA, like the algorithm or whatever, realised that this was copyright, even though it wasn't, because my face was in it. I slowed it down, as I've always done before.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it is what it is. You've just got to restart again.
So UEFA's either a Spurs fan or a Bayern Munich fan. It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was Switzerland versus Hungary, so it might have been Hungarian.
Oh, it might have been Hungarian. So he's a Hungarian Spurs fan, Bayern Munich fan. Cool. Right, that's the reason why. But at least you've got another account going at the moment, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And the TikTok's there and the YouTube's there, so and Twitter as well. So it's one of those things where, yes, it had the most followers in my whole social media space, but you just have to go again. It's short term.
Yeah. Right, we kind of jumped the gun here, but talk to me about your coaching journey, man. Like, how did you get into this and what age did you decide you wanted to be a coach?
So last year I started off, my first game as a manager ever was 30th of July 2023, and it was here, it was on this pitch.
Here we go, Retty Park, West London, baby.
Yes, so my friend started a Sunday League team competing in the Harrow division.
Which team?
It was called Slyish United.
Okay.
But I don't know if they'll continue for next season. But he asked me if I wanted to play, and because I was playing Saturdays, I said I will just coach. And it worked perfectly in my favour because I was doing my FA Level 1. So it just worked hand in hand. So I started off managing them. We did quite well. We created a name for ourselves where in pre-season we beat, do you know Ryefield? Yeah. We beat Ryefield and they won the league in the year before. So I was so confident in my team and in the system that I was like, okay, let's arrange a friendly with them. When we beat them, we got entry into the Premier Division of the Harrow League. Instead of going starting from Division 3, we went straight to the Premier Division. And this was a team where a lot of players had not played 11-a-side football before. They had not played in a system. They had not played in a formation where the fullback could come into the middle. They hadn't done that, but because we were training 2-3 times a week in the park every evening in the summer, I managed to get that out of them. And watching them play here every week in July and August, it was such a joy. Like, I was like, this is actually working. Yeah. So that idea I had, having had no experience, like I could see the effect of it. And then it got to a point where we got to the Middlesex Cup quarter-finals, and then we faced North London Athletics second team, but they were just really good. And we lost to them 6-0 back in January. And then when my page was on the rise, a few things happened within that squad which made me leave, and then I got another opportunity, obviously now with Carpet FC. Mm-hmm. So I decided to dedicate my time with them on a Sunday morning, and yeah, that was it really. So ever since then I've been with Carpet FC. And
so this has only happened in the space of a year? Yes. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which obviously is funny. It is very shocking to a lot of people when they see my stuff. But personally, I've always had this idea of being in control of the whole system, because when I was playing football, while I was playing as that number 6 or that number 8, I was always the one telling my centre back, look, push out so I can play it to you. Yeah. Or when my goalkeeper had the ball, calm, because I'm in the middle, I can see everything. So I always felt like I'm doing it on the pitch. Yeah. Can I actually do it from the sideline? And if that means I don't play for a bit, it's fine. I'm not too fussed about playing and not playing, because professional football's out of the picture. So mentally, I'm like, what am I playing for? If that makes sense. Why
Yeah.
don't I create something which allows the whole team to play in a system? Because I've seen so many players at step 3, step 4. They're very good players, but they're never able to express themselves. And is it because of their confidence? Is it because of the manager not really being detailed about the system? So I just really want to realise, okay, if I was still playing, what type of coach would I have wanted? Like, what type of manager, what type of system? And then that's the one I'm trying to recreate with other players.
Yeah.
So playing from the back, and I'm not really copying Pep Guardiola. I'm not copying anyone. It's just when I'm playing, what would I have wanted my centre back to do? What would I have wanted myself to do if the system was there? So that image I have, I just want to implement it, starting from the goalkeeper to the striker, off the ball as well. So yeah, it all starts from me just always asking myself the question before every game, before every training session.
What would Raf do? Or what would Raf want, basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
If Raf was here and the manager was here, what would Raf want? So then the team can best play, together and gel together. And I think that question, the answer to that question, I don't think I'll ever get, even if I push on. I think that's one of those questions. It's like, what's the meaning of life? You're always trying to look for an answer.
Yeah.
So I think that sort of question, sort of the pursuit of trying to be a manager that I never really had. I had some very good managers before, but not that type of manager. And me trying to be that type of manager, I think will push me, quite a bit, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know this all came about in the space of a year. So,
Yeah.
right. So, what qualifications do you have? What are you up to now? Level.
So I've done my FA level 1. Now I'm doing my UEFA C, which I'll be completing next month.
Right.
So then after that, it's just about. And the thing with UEFA qualifications are, yes, they're very good and informative, but if you have actually watched football day in, day out, if you've played the game at a certain level, the things they teach you on there, it's good for like the basic understanding.
Okay.
It's nothing too groundbreaking. So I get a lot of comments online saying, "Oh, who are you? What are your qualifications?" I don't bother responding because they don't understand that anyone can be a good football manager.
Of course.
It's not about qualification. It's about you understanding how you interpret your message. That's how you can push on.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. And again, look at even Mark White at
I was
Dorking
literally
Wanderers.
going to mention him.
Yeah, he's got no qualifications
Yeah.
or like very little, but
Nothing.
again, he manages a football club and does it very well, to my knowledge anyway. So again, it can happen.
And something that I don't really share a lot, but I'll do it. When I was younger with my dad, like all we watched was Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, that
Okay.
era. Because I think if you actually watch that now and just ask yourself the question, why has he moved there? What's the purpose? You get so many answers. I remember breaking down a movement of Iniesta, which was 8 seconds long, for 1.5 hours by myself with no camera. This was like 3 years ago during lockdown. So I was sat there on YouTube. So that movement that Iniesta did, I would put it on slow motion, ask myself, why has he done that? Then I would speed it up, then I would see the effect. Then that's the way I was sort of obsessed, and I obviously still am. So that obsession of why is this happening? What's the effect? It's like, what's the domino effect? It's that constant obsession that for me doesn't mean at all that you need a qualification.
So how long do you study games for, man? I'm hearing you're obsessing over an 8-second clip for an hour and a half. So again, for a full game, you must take a whole week or something, right?
I mean, this was during lockdown time, especially when we
And nothing to do, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even now, if I were to watch a football match, I would watch the first 10 minutes, let's say in 45 minutes, and then I'll just leave it. And then maybe I don't watch the whole game. I'll watch another game just to see. So maybe I watch 10 minutes of Brighton against Man City, De Zerbi versus Pep. Watch 10 minutes of that and then leave it. Then watch Bundesliga. So doesn't mean I have to watch the whole game, but I'll break down, let's say, 5-minute passage of play and just dive into it. Like repeat, slow motion, fast. Just if the ball's here, just watch this player for 5 minutes. What's he doing? So I think, I'm just obsessed because it's a game that when I was younger, it gave me a lot of escape from the real world, it's a game that unites people, unites so many players without even speaking the same language. If you were speaking different language, it's a ball, that's the language we play, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a sport that I love more than anything else, really. So I'm happy to dedicate all my time to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned you're a centre midfielder, right?
Yeah.
So again, do you still play now?
I mean, I did until December, but now I've stopped while I'm starting my new journey, yeah.
Okay, why stop? Can't you do the same thing? Because you're still young, right? So you can still do
Yeah,
both.
but the thing is, now that I'll be coaching on Saturdays and Sundays, obviously training during the week. There's no real actual time to play. I could play a little 5-a-side, 7-a-side, where needed, but And what's funny is I haven't actually missed playing. It's because I'm still obviously doing stuff on the pitch, coaching-wise. I don't feel like I need to play at the moment. But if I wanted to, then yeah, of course I could get back into it. But at the moment, I really do feel like this journey could take me much further than my playing career.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. And like, who would you say you modelled your game on as a centre midfielder then?
Frankie de Jong.
Yeah?
Yeah, so when I watched him a lot at Ajax, in terms of fitness levels, you know, my teammates and my previous coaches would easily say I was the fittest in the team. So the way he had used his athleticism to his ability to get the ball from the defenders, then drive into space, then play little combinations. I just love being the sort of dictator in the very deep phase. So next to my centre-backs, I'll drop in, then dictate, then play a ball, then let my attackers do everything. I was that type of player. So yeah, Frankie de Jong, a bit of Sergio Busquets, although I would say Sergio Busquets was just different level, so I don't want to compare myself to him. But yeah, I would say Frankie de Jong, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what would you say is the hardest position to coach, in your opinion?
I would say it's that number 6 position, because different managers, depending on their game plan, their philosophy, they'd expect different things from the number 6. Some people want a no-nonsense number 6, just hit the channels and happy days. Some managers want the number 6 to play, and then also tackle aggressively. But then that comes down to positioning. Because the number 6 is involved with the goalkeeper in build-up and then the attacking phase as well.
Yeah.
He's the link between both sides. I think that's the most difficult position. And honestly, if any team has a type of number 6 like Busquets, like Andrea Pirlo, I think they should be very, very grateful, because it's so hard to find.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find, especially in this non-league, step 5, step 4, step 3 football, where it's just missing the number 6 a lot, which is one of the reasons why I potentially stopped playing, because I was playing there and I just wasn't getting the ball.
Yeah.
And most of the time, when I watch the footage back, now you can imagine how much time I spent watching myself.
Yourself back, oh gosh, you'd have been there for days.
So when I watched myself back, I was thinking, why have I not got the ball here?
Yeah.
What's wrong? And then I would realise that actually my position was fine. It's the centre-back being instructed from the sideline just to pump it long.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, anyone could do this.
Yeah.
Stand there, run, kick, head, and that's it. And I thought, okay, that's not me. Sorry.
Does that annoy you, the differences between, I'm guessing you talk about like Sunday League and even non-league to an extent, where they literally saying, go long, whereas you go to other countries, they like to play it about, and obviously now we're starting to kind of gravitate to the whole passing out from the back. That must frustrate you, right?
It really does, and we can see what happened in the Euros with Spain versus England. Two perfect nations exposing the effect of having an identity from grassroots and working your way up. Spain. Look, if you look at that Spanish squad, which one of them are world class or who has a big name? I heard English commentators laughing about Zubimendi coming on at halftime for Rodri, and I was like, don't laugh, because he will dictate, and he changed the game as soon as he came on. So with England, however, it's like we have 10 unbelievable players apparently, and yet they can't string a proper performance throughout the 90 minutes. That's because that culture, that play style from grassroots hasn't been ingrained into them. Whereas in Spain, it's like, oh, you're injured, okay, you come on, no problem. Oh, you're suspended, okay, you come on. Actually, you can drop in there. Like, it's natural for them because they've been coached from a young age. And I think, I really hope that this Euros represents a new era for England to come up, where actually, forget this pumping long stuff, we are actually going to play. And if that means we concede a lot of goals from playing through the thirds, so be it. It's a process. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day. Nothing was built in a day. And if you're looking for short-term success, where you're pumping it along, you're getting a scrappy 1-0, okay, fine. But this is what will happen at the bigger stage when you play a nation that has so much quality throughout. I can guarantee you put a Spanish semi-pro team, one of the lower divisions, against a step 3 team here. I'm not going to say that they'll smash them, but in terms of watching the game, I can tell who will dominate. I think it would be quite obvious, because the way the Spanish play, the way the Germans, the way the Belgians, the French, the way they play from grassroots is completely different to here. And that's one of my other missions, is to just reform the whole system. And I want my teams to be sort of the symbol of actually, when there's an actual system, irrespective of what level you're at, you could be Sunday League, you still have a system and it would work. And yes, you'll get laughed at for having a tactics board on a Sunday morning when it's raining and stuff, but so be it. If you get the results, then the results will talk. Yeah. You know? So, yeah, it just really does frustrate me when you see, like, a lot of arrogance as well with certain coaches at this non-league level when they think they know more than they actually do.
Yeah.
Just because they're at a certain status or they're at a certain age. Oh no, it's my way or the highway. When actually, hang on a minute, this way of going, you don't know how that makes your centre midfielders feel. You don't know how that makes your centre backs feel. When you're saying, guys, we're not going to play, we're just going to kick it long because it's too risky, when actually your centre backs are very comfortable on the ball. Straight away you're signalling to your centre backs, actually, I don't trust you, because if I concede it's my fault, then the chairman might sack me. That's the truth. And I really want to be that symbol where if I get sacked for sticking to my principles, I'm so happy to get sacked. I'm so happy. But I'll stick to my principles.
Yeah.
And my principles aren't playing from the back all the time. It's about understanding your players. What makes your players feel the best, feel most comfortable playing to their strengths. So if that does mean we go long, there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
But it's not because I'm panicking. So that image, that sort of key distinguishing factor between those two are very, very important. Yeah.
Where would you say Southgate went wrong? I know there was a lot of talk in the media about he didn't make that sort of substitution or he didn't play that player, but where would you say he went wrong? Maybe overall and also obviously the final itself.
I just think a conservative football, playing not to lose instead of playing to win, there's a big difference. And as we saw, going 1-0 up and then the average positions of everyone is on the edge of their own D shape. It's like, that's not, yes, that could scrape games and this, but it's not sustainable. And even if England had won the Euros, potentially that could have been worse for England's future, because then they'll be like, oh my God, this is the way to play.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Especially with the calibre of players that we have on.
The calibre of players, the opposition they faced, full respect, but once again, on paper, look at the opposition England faced, compare it to Spain, and yet Spain still got the results and the performances. So, yeah, I think conservative football, playing not to lose instead of playing to win, there's a big difference between those. And if more managers, more coaches understand the difference and what's required, then they could get their team playing a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say is your preferred formation to play with? If you're going into Saturdays and Sundays now, what's your preferred formation to play with?
So you see, that's a difficult question to answer because it depends on my players' strengths. So I don't actually have a set formation. I just look at the squad I have, how can I best optimise the players, and that's the formation. Yeah. So it's not really about...
Or preferred, like some people may prefer 4-3-3 for example. Some people might go old school, 4-4-2. You must have a go-to one. Obviously, I understand if you have certain players, you have certain systems in place, but what would be your preferred one?
Well, once again, if you look at the formations, right, on paper, when you watch like an actual game, when does that ever stay rigid? Yeah. It's always fluid. Like if you look at Man City with John Stones, on paper they play 4-4-2-3-1. Yeah. And then John Stones enters the midfield, then it turns into a 3-4-3. Yeah. So the way I see it, I would love to have just, let's say, 2 centre-backs, very comfortable on the ball, and then 1 centre defensive midfielder, a proper number 6, and then everyone else can just rotate in and out of positions, in and out of spaces, if I have a team that can play like that. And I'm very lucky to have 2 of them for this season coming up Saturday and Sundays. So yeah, I would say having 2 players to dictate at the back, 1 just in front to screen and also dictate, like a base triangle, and then everyone else just to roam in and out and play freely. Yeah.
So let's get on to Saturdays and Sundays now. So congratulations on the 2 gigs.
Thank you.
So you've got Active Sports on a Saturday, and then Carpet FC on a Sunday, yeah?
Yes.
So again, how did both of those roles come about?
Yeah, so first of all, obviously, with Carpet FC, Charles and Felix, Charles being the director, Felix being the chairman, they reached out to me at a time when I hadn't grown online. So this was back in early January, before I had blown up. They reached out to me, and when you see that type of offer before you blow up, I think it means like, we believe in you, we believe in your system, not in your page. We just want free exposure, we want free advertising. Yeah. So so you know, first of all, big respect to them, and yeah, I'm always grateful for that opportunity. So they messaged me back in January. Then every Sunday I just went to watch their games, get to understand the players more, whilst Charles was managing. And then from this season, the aim is, now I'm the manager, and let's see how much we can achieve. I said to the players and to Charles as well, the aim is to win the next game, and I think you can interpret what that means for the whole season.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't like saying we need to win this, we need to win everything. It's about next game mentality. The next game, if we win that game, and then after that we win the next one, then we win the next one, then I think it figures itself out.
Yeah, of course. Do you know what league you're going to be playing in next season?
Yeah, it'll be in the. It'll be in the Graham Todd Premier Division, I think. It's in South London. It's in the same league as Junction Elite. And
Okay, right,
Junction
okay.
Elite, AFC Balham. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with South London. I just know we'll be in the Premier Division somewhere in South
Right.
London.
Oh, I thought you might have gone into, there's a league called the SFL League. I don't know if you're aware
We
of
might,
it.
yeah, I don't know. We might be in that.
Okay,
But
okay.
we are definitely in the big London Cup on Sundays as well.
Right, yeah, makes
And
sense.
we're in another cup as well. But yeah, when I'm thinking about winning the next game, it's like.
Yeah, you don't care what league you're in. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense, makes sense. And will you be bringing any players over that you know, or are you just working with their squad?
At the moment, I haven't brought in any of my players because looking at the standard that they have,
Yeah.
I don't actually know anyone that's good enough. Because they have for Sunday League, some of the movements and some of the moves I've seen the players, do, it's really impressive.
Yeah.
For Sunday League level.
Yeah.
And that's why I think nowadays with the level of Sunday League, I think the Sunday League stigma is slowly going out because it's for me it's just Sunday football.
Yeah.
Because some of the players, some of the quality, some of the patterns of play I've seen, it's really exciting to be able to be a part of that really. And then on Saturdays, yeah, with Active Sports, Josh, the owner, the director, he's also the manager as well. They got 4 promotions in 4 years, and now they've got me on board for like their new era, which is to rise up the leagues from from whichever step they're in to go up to step 6, step 5, step 4, build on that semi-pro status. So yeah, very exciting times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to Sunday League now, not are you worried, but again, obviously you're not going to have that much time with them to spend with them. So again, it's delivering that quick message to them before the game, half time and all the rest of it. Are you equipped for that? Do you feel like you've got the bite-sized versions of what you can deliver? Because from what I'm hearing, like you've got a lot of information, and obviously that could be, divvied up between a lot of people if you have them throughout the week.
Yes.
But on Sundays,
Yes.
like you said, you get them at 10:30. Some of them might be racking up 5 minutes before the game and all the rest of it. I'm sure Carpet FC guys, you're not that
Nah, they're not.
irresponsible. But you know what I'm saying?
That
like,
might be me because I'm travelling from so far.
Yeah. But that's what I'm just trying to say is
Yeah.
like you have them the least amount of time with any teams that you coach. So how do you kind of deliver that message short, sharp, to the point, so they can deliver on a Sunday?
So one big advantage that we have at Carpet FC is that they're all proper footballers. Like in terms of game understanding, they all do certain movements which I want from my players, but they do it automatically because they've played a lot of street football. They've played 5-a-side, 6-a-side. Like how it is with proper footballers, they always play.
Yeah.
So when it's about that, it's just me, as you said, delivering that overall message where, okay, in possession, this is what we want to do. Out of possession, this is our trigger to press. This is our trigger to defend. This is what we need to do when we're facing a dangerous long ball. This is what we need to do. So those key principles, and then as they play, what I've seen is there's a few very good leaders on the pitch that demand more. So I think they help me a lot when they're playing. Guys, better, come on, ball speed. I've heard some players tell each other, guys, slow the game down. So when I'm hearing that level of detail on the pitch, because the players are that good, it's like, okay, I just set up the system. I tell them, these are my principles. I want you to play freely in the right areas. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And that's it, really. So I think, yeah, a big advantage is that they're all very good footballers. So I don't have to deliver that level of detail as you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I'll still obviously bring my board, just show them, because I think visually it's really good for them to see, okay, when we don't have the ball and the opposition have the ball, this is how we're going to press. I'm going to go there, like with the magnets. You go there, bang, bang, bang. We win the ball, then we score, for example. But yeah, I think, as I said, having good players helps you a lot.
You don't go nowhere without the magnets now.
Nah.
And the whiteboard.
Nah.
And then is it the same with non-league as well? Like obviously you're dealing with young players. Will you be still delivering the same key messages to them as well?
So obviously with Active Sports, we're very, very lucky to be training every week on Thursday night. So obviously that's where the detail is. We will be having a video session as well before, because we have the video camera. So we can watch our game, analyse it, and then talk through it. So I think with both teams, the fact that the games are filmed, and I'm the type of person on the group chat to be sending clips and to be talking through. So then the training is actually reading the WhatsApp properly.
Oh mate, so you're gonna have you're gonna have 2 video cameras on a Saturday and a Sunday. You're gonna have content galore. You're gonna be like made up. This is gonna be like Christmas come early for you,
Literally,
right?
yeah. Because then obviously you can tell when we have a good passage of play that is getting posted.
Yeah.
It could be one of those things, analysing my team's goal.
Yeah.
Look at this, and then I do some extra commentary. Just,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think just I think what really helps both teams for this season is my obsession. So when I'm sending messages or videos on the group chat, it could be from their play, it could be from a Premier League game. I'm sending a little screen recording. Look, this is exactly what we mentioned. This is exactly what we did, or this is what we should do more of. So I just think all of that throughout the season, it gets embedded in their mind. So then, let's say by February, it could be that the board is just there for the camera. They might not even need it because it's all like automatic.
How do you deal with players that might be on the opposite end? They might be like, oh, Raf, calm down, mate. It's only a Sunday. Like, you're doing too much, man. It's too much, mate. I just want to have a kick about with my mates. Why are you sending me like these presentation files of coaching tactics and stuff like that? How do you deal with those sort of players that are not as engaged as someone else who might want to learn?
So luckily, I haven't come across a player like that yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. But that's because obviously with Carpet FC there is a project, there is a big ambition to go to this Saturday semi-pro route and push on. So I think every player that we have right now, they're all in that mindset. So it's all about, okay, if we've brought in a new manager out of the blue, let's take his ideas, put it on the pitch, let's learn, let's build for our project for the future. Same with active sports. If they want to go up the ladder, it's all about the project. So luckily we have so many players that have bought into the project, just like I have as well, which is why I'm travelling Saturday and Sundays both to South London.
Yeah.
But if I were to come across a player like that, I would sort of say, okay, this isn't the place for you then.
Simple as that.
Yeah, it's not too complicated really. I don't have to force them. If a player doesn't like it, then there's many other teams that would play for a pint after the game and that's it.
Yeah, fair enough. So what sort of managers do you take inspiration from? I obviously hear Pep quite a lot. Is there any other managers that you kind of admire and say, look, I've kind of absorbed their information and made it into your own?
I think more than Pep Guardiola, someone like Carlo Ancelotti, even Bielsa as well. I think, and then Johan Cruyff. I think these three have really helped me a lot because yes, Pep Guardiola has revolutionised the game a lot. But I just don't see myself being like Pep Guardiola exactly. I just see a lot of aspects in Man City that...
I mean, you got the hair from back in the day from Barcelona. You do have a certain look to you. Maybe, is that the whole reason why you're trying to go down that route? And then you'll become bald and then you might have... Yeah.
It's very easy for me to go bald. I just have to shave it. But yeah, of course, like Pep Guardiola is one of the greatest managers of all time. It's just personally... because I'm not at that level to have every single player to be that very high elite level.
Yeah.
It's all about adapting to your players. And I think Ancelotti has done that exceptionally well. Wherever he's gone, he's won. He's a winner. He goes everywhere and he wins. And I like to really emulate that sort of relationship. Because Ancelotti's also, he's got like that friendship vibe as well with his group. Like you've seen him dancing around with Vinicius and these people.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that separate figure. So I don't want it to be like, my team is here, my squad is here, and I'm there. I want to be there. And then yes, okay, the system, the game plan, the talk is from me.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm integrated within them because we're all part of one club. We're all part of one umbrella. It's not like I'm higher than them.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm actually working for them because I want to make them better.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So definitely Ancelotti is up there. Yeah.
So what sort of coach would you say you are then? You clearly say you don't want to be a feared coach, but are you one of the lads? Are you a bit in between? Like what sort of?
Yeah, good question. I would say it's a bit in between. It's like, let's trust Raf, let's trust the manager, but then also, we can also ask him questions. Can I do this instead? Raf, I know you mentioned this, but do I have the freedom to do this? I want to be that type of person. So it's not like, oh my God, I've made a mistake, he's going to get angry. No. Like, I'm always going to be your biggest supporter if you're on my team. It's about me setting up the system. You can follow the system as like a template, and then within that system, you guys have the freedom to adapt and mold it. Because once again, when I was playing, I saw so many things that if my managers were open-minded and they listened to us as players, their team would have played much better.
Yeah.
You see what? Because as players, there's little relationships, there's little feelings that players have that a manager on the sideline will never have. So it's about me tapping into that and then, yeah, taking the feedback, thinking about a system, implementing it, and then they just follow the system. But once again, they can adapt, they can mold it, they can refine it. So, yeah, I mean, let's say the squad is here, and yes, I'm the manager on paper, but I don't want to ever be seen like, oh my God, let's all, okay, well, I don't ever want to be seen like that because that's not the type of manager I want to come across as.
No, that's fair enough,
Yeah.
man. What if a player wants to learn outside of your sessions? Say, for example, some of the boys at Carpet FC, they only get to see you on a Sunday, but they want to take in some of your information on board without, seeing you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, what sort of tips would you give them?
Yeah, this goes to any footballer really. They could just watch any professional match, but they should be watching players that play similar to them at the pro level. So for example, if you're a centre midfielder who likes to break lines, so watch Sergio Busquets. You don't need to watch other players that just keep it simple side to side stuff. You need to watch them, then you need to watch them off the ball. So when the far side centre back has the ball, where is he standing? Why is he standing? And once again, it goes down to that bit. When I was playing in that number 8 position, watching Iniesta, 8-second clip for 90 minutes. Because I really needed to understand that. And I think more players need to understand that it's the mental training, it's the game analysis that really does improve your ability on the pitch. You could do all the physical stuff, but what about in the first 2 minutes you give the ball away, everyone's shouting at you, and then you go back into your shell. So when you really watch the game closely, you watch the players in your position who play similar to you. But then you don't just watch that, you ask yourself the question, why are they doing that? Oh, they've made a bad mistake. Oh, they've recovered so quickly. Okay, I need to do that as well. If Xavi has made a mistake, I can make a mistake. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Xavi at the Champions League final makes mistakes, and I'm here playing Saturday football at 3 p.m, let's say with 20 people watching, and I'm in my shell. What's that about?
Yeah.
So I think watching players who play in your position with your similar style helps you tremendously. That's what I would say.
I noticed you mentioned a lot of Spanish players, but do you rate any English players, or is there some sort of beef against English players, man? Bearing in mind we're in England, man, so we don't all play like Xavi and Busquets and all these sort of players.
No, of course. I love Kobe Mainoo. I love the way Curtis Jones plays. Even Angel Gomez, Adam Wharton as well, Phil Foden. I love John Stones as well at centre back. Gehi, he's had a brilliant tournament. Trent Alexander-Arnold. So yeah, there's a lot of English players I admire, but once again, they have all the ability. It's the system that doesn't allow them to express themselves on the international stage. There's a reason why all those players I've mentioned, how many of them have an English manager at club level? Let's go through it. Curtis Jones doesn't. Kobe Mainoo doesn't. Adam Wharton doesn't. Gehi doesn't. Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't.
So you're shooting down the English managers, that's basically, and the English coaches saying that they're no good.
I'm not saying
No, look, we can all have this debate about, there's a reason why English managers don't get the top jobs, the reason why we're going to struggle to find someone to replace Southgate who's of top calibre. We can find someone to replace him, talks of Lee Carsley and Eddie Howe and all the rest of it, but are they of top quality to win us a championship? Those are the sort of conversations we're talking about. So is there something wrong where at coach level in this country that we're not delivering to help our coaches exceed?
Yes, and I personally think, and this may come across as arrogant or whatever, and I'm not too bothered by it, but if you ask a lot of coaches at grassroots level or at semi-pro level, have you watched, let's say, 5 full matches of that Barcelona 2009 team? Have you watched that? If they say no, you'll be like, okay, cool, that's fine. But then when I see your game system, when I see your game plan, it's not modern, it's not up to date. So it's like, we need to be learning from the greats who have achieved, which is not from here. No English manager has won the Champions League. Like, come on, what's that about? No English manager has won the Premier League, except for before it was called the English Football League. So when you see all of that, it's like, let's take some humility, let's learn from the greats, who are not English, which is fine, and let's really understand what they've done, and let's bring it into our game. I don't think it's that complicated, really. And once again, as I said earlier, it's about the fearlessness to implement those systems, see it fail, but then you learn from that failure. Instead of panicking and be like, oh no, this didn't work. Maybe Pep Guardiola has a magic potion in the La Masia, Barcelona's academy. Okay, let's just go. But that's not sustainable. That doesn't allow this unbelievable amount of talent to express themselves on the big stage. It doesn't.
My beef has always been with English managers, because I'm a Newcastle United fan, innit? So Eddie Howe's my manager.
Yes.
And my beef has always been failure to adapt. Okay, if things are not going your way, you're trailing, or it's a draw and you need to get a point or something like that, and it's the failure to spot that thing that needs to change ASAP. Do you know what I mean? That's where someone like Ancelotti or a Mourinho or a Pep might spot it straight away like that.
Exactly.
Like, it's that key decision making at that moment in time in order to get us over the line. It happened with Southgate so many times. Look how many times we've got to finals and semis and he's not been able to spot the danger or spot a change that needs to happen straight away.
He does it slightly after. They might get away with it, or then we'd be like, oh, in hindsight, he should have done it earlier.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. And yeah, and that adaptation comes from really understanding the game, understanding like. There's something I like to really classify as the feeling of the game. So sometimes, let's say the first 10 minutes, let's say the opposition have had kickoff and they've had 2 minutes of very controlled spell of possession. That could set the tone for the rest of the game, unless you quickly say, okay, actually, we feel like they're going to gain momentum. Okay, high press, let's go. You know, like change something before that idea you have actually happens. So often I always like to listen to that instinctive voice where it's like, okay, this number 10 has got on the ball 2 times in a pocket. Okay, the third time he could score. I'm going to stop that now. Or instead of thinking, oh wait, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. No, like once you gain a certain level of understanding, you shouldn't be second guessing that voice. Or I'm sure when you watch your matches, like at, let's say Newcastle, whoever you watch in the Premier League, when you watch him, you're like, oh, I have a feeling that he could change the game, and then he does. It's like, okay, if you're on the sideline,
If I as a fan can spot it, why can't the guy that's getting paid millions and millions of pounds,
Exactly.
who's meant to be a professional coach, spot it?
Exactly. And that's sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with saying some football fans might know so much more than the managers, because for me, football is a game of opinion. It's not about, oh, you're the manager with a UEFA 8 qualification, so you know more than a fan who has zero qualifications. It's not about that. It's about, okay, blank canvas, everyone. It's about you identifying the game, reading the game, understanding the game. So as you said, like you see something in a game, sometimes you think, oh wait, that's going to happen, and then it does. So if you were on the sideline, you would be able to spot that, and you need to have courage in yourself to make that change quickly.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least you haven't second guessed yourself. You've done it. You've seen it not work. You're like, okay, cool. Next game, that's information for me to take forward. You know, I have no problem with losing by a lot of goals if it means for my future I go unbeaten for like 2 years. It's the way I see it. Like I'm at a stage where I'm learning, and it's always that never stop learning mentality, really.
That's good. It's
Yeah.
good to have, and make sure you keep that going as well, man.
Of course, I'm never going to let anyone take that away from me.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So what does the future hold for you, man? What's the plans for this season? Obviously, your weekends are taken up, but where do you see yourself going to and what you're aspiring to?
I just want to get into full-time professional management, not just coaching. And obviously coaching, it would be a stepping stone, but eventually it would be management, achievement, like concrete achievements, and then that achievement symbolises to the rest of the English football system that actually this might be the way forward. So, because I have an image which I believe in, but I can't really share that image or really speak about that image unless I've spoken on the pitch. Sorry, off the pitch, but if you get what I mean.
Yeah. But you can speak into an existence. You can say, look, I want to be, like you said, you want to be full-time employment in
No, I was sorry. I mean, when it comes to sort of revolutionising the football system.
Oh, right, I see.
So I don't want to be the person that says this is how you revolutionise the system.
Without doing it.
Yeah, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely with Carpet FC, it's to win the next game, which obviously, you know, leads to certain things. And with Active Sports as well on Saturdays, is to win the next game. I think having the ambition to win, and then within that you break it down. Okay, what does that mean? From build-up, from our goalkeeper, if we are to win this game, how should we set up? Bang, 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 and then it just gives you more answers. So yeah, in the future, full-time professional management, but I want to get to that stage where I've achieved that, but before, I've done a lot of things at the lower levels that have helped everyone push forward, you know. That's my aim.
And what's the best piece of advice a coach has given to you?
Play freely. So I had one coach when I was 12 or 13 years old, and he told me, look, Raf, like you in this game hasn't been your best game, but just play the way I know you can play. And I think that's the moment I realised when this person trusts me, then that's all I need. And then I end up scoring the winning goal in that game. So I think even though I didn't have the best game, I didn't get subbed off because my manager trusted me. He trusted the way I played. It just didn't work that day because it happens, right? And I end up scoring the winning goal. So it's about playing freely and having the trust in your abilities. And that applies to coaches and players. Trusting yourself on the sidelines as a manager and as a player on the pitch.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You're looking more and more like Pep every time I look at you now, bro. I swear now, no. You know Pep from before, obviously when he was playing, not Pep now. But you do look like him. Like, are you Spanish descent?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No, I'm not. But usually I grow my hair out just a bit.
Nah, you're down to go and look for that Pep look.
What about Enzo Maresca? He looks like he's bold and he's got a
No,
beard.
but I'm saying from before, not Pep now,
Yeah.
obviously, but from Pep when he's actually playing for Barca.
okay.
You look similar to me. If I'll have to get this and get a side-by-side shot and like, okay, he's actually looking like his idols right now.
Before I put on my bio, manager of Carpet FC and coach at Active Sports, I put I am not Pep, and I put not in capital letters. So I did do that, but now it's like.
Or you can put I am Pep stunt double. Like you can.
I could, yeah. I'm here to prove Pep wrong, maybe, because the stuff that he has with the wingers always passing, like you've seen what Grealish does, and it's called the Grealish skill. Go, pass backwards. I mean, I can't. Everyone has their opinion. I just personally would never let my winger go backwards.
That's the point.
If they're good enough to go, I'm happy for them to lose the ball if the system's there for us to win the ball back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any winger grows up thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to get the ball, go down the byline, cut back to my left back, keep the ball, yes. I don't think any winger thinks like that.
Well, listen, if it works for Pep, who are we to argue, eh?
That's true, yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Nah, fair enough, man. Nah, but bro, it's been a pleasure, man. And
appreciate this.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thank you, guys. Hope you took some gems in as well. And if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And see you guys on in a bit.